If you can't drag yourself to do the work, it's not a character flaw. Right now, while you're watching this, a part of your brain is quietly calculating, do we keep paying attention or do we switch to something easier? And in most people, that part of the brain is winning. That's why deep work feels impossible, why scrolling is effortless, and why every day ends with, I'll do better tomorrow. Your brain isn't lazy, it's ancient. Think of yourself as a productive caveman living in a modern casino. Deep inside your head lives your motivation engine, the part that runs on dopamine, the wanting chemical that spikes when you anticipate a reward. The problem? Your caveman brain was built for occasional rewards, a good meal, a safe place to sleep, social approval from a small tribe. Instead, it's being blasted all day by supernormal, hyper-easy dopamine from infinite feeds, videos, and notifications. Over time, your brain does something sneaky. It protects itself by down-regulating. It reduces the sensitivity of your dopamine receptors. Translation? Cheap, easy hits feel normal, and normal, everyday tasks feel like climbing a mountain. You haven't lost your drive. You've just built up a massive tolerance. The good news, what tolerance did to your brain, neuroplasticity can undo. And the way we do that is not by becoming superhuman, but by rewiring the place where you spend most of your time, your room. Let's be honest. My room wasn't a room. It was a dopamine arcade. The bed wasn't for sleep. It was for doom scrolling. The desk wasn't for work, it was for one productive tab and 8 more tabs of whatever the algorithm decided. The couch? That was where one episode always became 3. Every corner had a screen. Every screen had an app designed to hijack my ancient caveman brain and pay me in cheap dopamine for basically zero effort. We like to think I have a focus problem, but most of us actually have an environment problem. Before I even touched my phone, my brain already knew the script. Bed means scrolling. Desk means multitasking. Couch means autopilot. If you build your life inside a distraction casino, you shouldn't be surprised when you keep losing. So instead of trying to become a more disciplined caveman inside a casino, I decided to shut the casino down. That's where the idea of a dopamine detox comes in, but not the hardcore, miserable version you've heard of. Let's get one thing straight. A dopamine detox does not mean removing dopamine from your brain. That would be death. What we're doing is simpler and smarter. We're turning down the dimmer switch on artificial, hyper-stimulating sources so your brain can stop drowning. When you reduce the flood of cheap stimulation for a while, your dopamine system starts to reset. Receptors that were numbed out begin to upregulate. Your baseline rises back to normal. And then something amazing happens. Regular tasks, reading a book, writing, working out, deep work, start to feel satisfying again. But here's where most people fail. They try to do this with pure willpower, inside a room that's still designed to make them lose. They uninstall apps but keep the same bed-phone combo. They swear they'll do less YouTube but leave the second monitor paused on just one more video. They promise themselves focus while literally living inside a distraction factory. So instead of trying to become a willpower superhero, I did something much easier. I rewired my room, and the first change targeted the worst slot machine of all, using my phone in bed. Most of my worst screen time wasn't at my desk, it was in bed. I'll just check a couple things turned into 30 minutes of nothing, then an hour. Then I'd sleep badly and wake up feeling like my brain was buffering. So I made one rule. The bed is a screen-free zone. Not less phone in bed, not only educational content in bed, just none. I bought a cheap alarm clock. I moved my phone to the other side of the room, or even outside the room. My bedside table became a no-tech area. Now, at night, my phone is located away from my bed, and in the morning, I have to physically stand up to go and get it. That single change did 2 things. It stopped the midnight doom scrolling, and it stopped my mornings from starting with a flood of cheap dopamine. My caveman brain stopped waking up inside a slot machine. But as soon as I actually got out of bed, there was another problem waiting for me. My desk. Your brain doesn't just remember what you do, it remembers where you do it. If your desk is where you work and eat and game and binge watch and doom scroll, then when you sit down, your brain genuinely has no idea what it's supposed to do. So I made my desk boring on purpose. I decided this surface is for work only. No YouTube browser on this screen, no just one episode while I eat, no social media feed for 5 minutes. I created a separate browser profile just for work. All the entertaining stuff is logged out or blocked there. If I want to watch something, I have to go to another part of the room. My desk stopped being the multitask altar. It became the focus stone in my productive caveman cave. Now, when I sit there, my brain recognizes the pattern. This is where we do hard things and get rewarded later. It wasn't about motivation, it was about association. But even inside my new focus zone, one enemy could still drag me back to the casino with a single sound: notifications. Most deep work sessions don't die because we choose to stop. They die because something pings. One notification turns into, well, I'm here, I'll check this too. And suddenly, 20 minutes are gone. So I went on a notification purge. First, I killed all the fake emergencies. Likes, recommendations, random someone posted. All the little hooks designed to reel my attention back in. Second, I allowed only a tiny white list of real-time interruptions. Actual humans I care about, and truly critical work channels. Everything else is silent by default. If I want to see it, I have to go to it. Third, I batched the noisy stuff. Instead of letting my phone decide when I think about social media, email, or news, I choose specific times. No more one ping, 10 app tour. The result? My focus session stopped feeling like dodging bullets. My brain finally had room to breathe. And this is where the detox science kicks in. Remove is not enough. You must replace. If you just delete apps and stare at a wall, your caveman brain will riot. So fill the gap with slower, sustainable rewards. Physical books, walks without headphones, cooking, journaling, drawing, building something. Things that pay you in satisfaction, not just stimulation. Yes, the first few days feel rough. That's not weakness. That's withdrawal. You are literally feeling your brain recalibrate in real time. If you can ride out that discomfort instead of numbing it again, you'll watch your attention span slowly return. And here's the key. As you repeat these new behaviors, your brain starts releasing dopamine in anticipation of them. You'll catch yourself actually wanting to go to your focus corner, or craving a walk, or looking forward to working on a project. That's not magic. That's neuroplasticity. To make all of this stick, you have to reframe what a good feeling actually is. Pleasure is instant. It's external. It's the quick hit after zero effort, and it leaves you weirdly empty. Satisfaction is delayed. It costs effort up front, but it gives you a deeper, longer-lasting sense of, I did something that matters. Every time you chase cheap pleasure, you're training your caveman brain to answer every discomfort with escape. Every time you practice delayed gratification, finishing a task, finishing a workout, finishing a page, you're literally strengthening the part of your brain that handles focus, planning, and self-control. The goal isn't to never feel pleasure. The goal is to build a life where satisfaction is your main source of good feelings, and pleasure is just a bonus. And you can't do that while living in a room that constantly screams, eat, scroll, watch, repeat. That's why the environment piece matters so much. You don't need more willpower. You need systems. Your room is one of those systems. You make your worst habits hard to access. Phone not close to your bed. Controller not on the desk. Apps not one tap away. You make your best habits effortless. Workout clothes ready. Books visible. Desk cleared. Lamp ritual ready to go. You design your cave so that productivity is the default, not the exception. And if you can, you also look at your tribe. Habits are contagious. Surround yourself, even digitally, with people who value focus, discipline, and building things. Let that be the social dopamine your caveman brain gets used to. At this point, you might be thinking, this sounds strict. Isn't this miserable? So let's talk about what's actually miserable. Living in a constant state of distraction is what's actually miserable. Always half doing everything. Always feeling behind. Always needing stimulation just to feel okay. Discipline isn't a prison. It's how you get your freedom back. A dopamine detox isn't punishment. Rewiring your room isn't about being hardcore. It's about giving your ancient caveman brain a fighting chance in a world it was never built for. So here's the challenge. Right after this video, pick one thing. 1. Choose your single highest source of empty dopamine. The app, the habit, or the device you mindlessly reach for. 2. Remove it from your immediate environment for 7 days. Delete it, box it, move it out of the room. 3. At the same time, make one small change to your room. Move your phone away from your bed, clean and claim a focus corner, or set up a work-only desk. For 7 days, watch what happens to your mood, your stress, and your focus. Notice when your caveman brain throws a tantrum. Notice how, as days pass, the tantrum gets quieter. Write it down. Document
implement the reset, because once you see your screen time collapse, once you feel your attention sharpen, you'll understand you never had a broken brain. You had a badly configured cave. Rebuild the cave and the productive caveman will show up. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments which part of your cave you're going to rebuild first. Your environment is already training your brain. The only question is, what is it training you to become?